Just say this. I'm Rev Neal Worthington, and I'm delighted you're here with us. Take a moment with me as we open in prayer. God of all goodness, you are in everything. Everything that excites us and makes us feel good, and everything that's a little challenging, sometimes confusing, you are in that as well. And we learn, we speak, and we act at the direction of Spirit, knowing that all is well. So this morning, we're grateful for a beautiful day, warm with the coolness of this in-person gathering with air conditioning. And we're grateful for all that are gathered here. We're grateful for some children that are with us this morning. What a wonderful spark that is, enlivens our coming together. We're grateful for those who are with us for the first time. And as we look at this subject of prosperity, we know that we may understand a few things, but there is much to learn and much to experience in our life. So we are committed to being present to life, present to Spirit, present to our true selves. We are grateful again, and we bless each one who has joined us today. And so it is. Amen. Donna, over to you.
Yes, it's my turn to announce the opening song. Song in My Soul, Karen Drucker. Feel free to greet in the chat if you're online.
Brilliant.
There is a song in my soul, it sings I am whole. Everywhere I go, it sings I am whole. There is a song in my soul, it sings I am whole. Everywhere I go, it sings I am whole. I am whole, I am whole, I am whole. I am whole, I am whole, I am whole, I am whole. There is a song in my soul, it sings I am healed. I take a breath and know that I am healed. There is a song in my soul, it sings I am healed. I take a breath and know that I am healed. I am healed, 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 I am healed. There is a song in my heart, it sings I am loved. It whispers in my ear that I am loved. There is a song in my heart, it sings I am loved. It whispers in my ear that I am loved. I am loved, 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 I am loved. soul, sings of my joy. It bubbles up from deep inside, pure sweet joy. There is a song in my soul, it sings of my joy. It bubbles up from deep inside, pure sweet joy. I am joy, I am joy, I am joy, I am joy. I am joy, I am joy, I am joy, I am joy. There is a song in my soul, it sings I am love, a beaming ray of spirit's light, I am love. There is a song in my soul, it sings I am love, a beaming ray of spirit's light, I am love. I am love, 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 I am love. I am whole, I am whole, I am healed, I am healed, I am love, I am love, I am joy, I am joy, I am whole, I am whole, I am healed, I am healed, I am love, I am love, I am joy, pure joy, I am peace, I am peace, I am well, all is well, I am well.
All right. Well, there's only a few people online today, so we don't really have to put the camera that way, I don't think. Next time, maybe. Welcome to Unity of Payson. We are so glad you're with us this morning. If you're new to Unity of Payson, please fill out a visitor's card if you're here in person. And if you're online and you're new and you're watching this, please go to unityofpayson.org and fill out something. Go to the connections and leave us your email so we can send you the Monday email newsletter. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. If you'd like to be informed of our weekly activities, leave your email. And again, we warmly welcome you. And from our Unity of Payson family, we say together, we love you, we bless you, we welcome you. And so it is. And we have some gratitudes. We're grateful for those who support Unity of Payson with time, talent, and treasure. We're grateful for the events that keep happening at Unity of Payson. One of those is online every morning called Morning Cafe. We have a Qigong and Tai Chi class and cards and games in person. We're thankful for the technology that allows us to do a hybrid Sunday service. We're also going to celebrate birthdays today. I'd like to give a shout out to celebrate some of our July birthdays that I know about. June was on the 5th, Mona was on the 8th, Terry's on the 19th, and Rick is on the 23rd. Yay, you. I was going to open it up for gratitudes from the community. Does anybody have a gratitude they'd like to share? If you do, please raise your hand. And if you raise your hand, I can tell if online, but I can't tell if you're raising your hand in person. So I'm going to have Neal call on you if you raise your hand in person.
That's a no.
Okay. Well, Unity is grounded in meditation and affirmative prayer, and we have trained prayer chaplains to support you. Our prayer chaplains will be wearing a blue and white stole. These are the colors for Unity. And you may call or email your request to Rev Neal at neal.unityofpayson@gmail.com. There's also a prayer box on the greeter table for those in person. Our prayer team will join you in prayer for 30 days and then forward your request to Silent Unity at Unity Village, and they will pray for another 30 days, 24/7 vigil. All prayer requests are held sacred and confidential. If you're here in person and would like prayer support, please connect with one of our chaplains after the service. If you would like prayer support from me, I am a prayer chaplain, and you're online, please leave me a message in the chat, and I will connect with you after the service. Okay, Unity of Patience theme for July is prosperity. Let's say the affirmation together. I am the beneficiary of a generous universe. All I need is available for the asking. Today's speaker is Rev Neal Worthington, and his talk title is The Myth of Santa. Oh, that's a myth? Okay, for today's daily word, Sunday, July 10th, generous. The affirmation is, as I give, I share God's abundance. The limitless resources of infinite spirit flow through my loving heart and clear mind as a never-ending supply of divine ideas. I always have all that I need to live abundantly, and I share my abundance with others freely. I give generously of my resources, talents, and skills, happy to support those I care about. I am generous with praise, gratitude, and encouragement. I give generously of my time. I am a good friend, a devoted family member, and a compassionate listener. Whenever I give without thought of reciprocation, I center myself in the divine flow. I'm a grateful, trusting recipient of Spirit's unfailing generosity and a conduit through which all of God's blessings flow. From Proverbs 11:25, a generous person will be enriched, as one who gives water will get water. Okay. And now our speaker, Rev Neal Worthington, will share his message with you. Here comes
Santa.
Santa.
There's a reason for this, and you'll know. We're going to talk today about the myth of Santa. Well, we'll talk a little more about myth as well and how it applies to us, but we'll start with the myth of Santa. You remember, you could probably say it with me. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, and hope that St. Nicholas soon will be there. We'll stop it there. Well, you remember that story, and especially you have memories of when you were a child, and Santa was just the most exciting thing because what you really wanted might be there after Santa left those presents. Well, it's interesting that Santa and another myth of my youth kind of coincide a lot. That is the myth of God. The myth of God, because I think that maybe the God that I grew up with, I know now, is a bit of a myth. But we're going to talk about myth and how valuable that is. But just think of those two parallels. Think of Santa with the white beard sitting on a cloud, and of course his nice red suit. No, that's God. God is sitting on the cloud. Santa's the North Pole. And at the North Pole, everything is absolutely perfect. Just like on the other side, heaven is that place of perfection, which, if we're good, we may go when we die. That's the myth. Then, of course, there's a naughty or nice component to this. Santa wants to know, have you been naughty or have you been nice? And the myth of God may ask, am I judged? Will I be punished or will I be rewarded? Well, the parallel goes kind of how they go together. Santa and God. And of course, there's the elves that do all the work to make the toys. It kind of correlates with the mythic angel. Now, I'm not disparaging angels that are part of our spiritual practice, but that picture of the wings and everything, that mythic angel that do the bidding of God and really are important in the giving of gifts. And then, of course, there's the workshop where all of those toys are made, and that corresponds with heaven and the place where blessings are collected and dispensed to us all. So we have myths that we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about the myth of Santa. Myth has several meanings. If you go to the dictionary, you're going to find something that's like a superhero who can do things that are more than human, helping us understand the mysterious. That's one look at myth. But it also may be a widely held false idea. So when we were kids, 4, 5, 6, we believed in Santa and that Santa myth. When we got to a certain age, that was called into question. And it was a question of whether that was a true idea or a false idea. Now, I don't want to spoil anything for those of us who are younger here, so I'm not going to go any further than that. But there's also one other approach to myth, and I like it, and it was said very clearly in the words of Joseph Campbell, if anybody remembers him, who spoke about myths exhaustively. He was mythology was something that he was really an expert at. And he said that myths are clues to our spiritual potential as human beings. Myths are clues to our spiritual potential as human beings. I like to think that this is the one where I want to be. I want to get the clues to spiritual potential. I don't want the false ideas. I don't even want the explaining mysteries by some superhero figuring it out for me. I want the clues to spiritual potential. So that brings us to look at some of the truths that we hold. And I'm just going to share the truths that are there for me. The first truth, most basic for me, is that we are one. And when I say we, I don't just mean you and me. I don't mean me and God or all that is the divine, whatever terminology you may use. I mean that all that is created is part of a oneness. The beautiful thing is that science, once we got into quantum physics, begins to tell us from a scientific point of view that it is so. We are one. We are not separate. There is always connection, and what we do impacts what everybody else experiences as well. Bless you.
Thank you.
Santa gets to say that. So there's also the question of what is this world or this universe, this creation like? What I've come to believe is that it is totally good. I call it omnibeneficent, big word, but everything is good. It doesn't always appear to be good, but it is good, and it works together for our good. This is one of the truths that I want to be pointed to because it's going to lead me to my spiritual potential. I really like some words that Deepak Chopra, you're probably familiar with him. Deepak Chopra wrote in The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And here's what he says. When we realize that our true self is one of pure potentiality, we align with the power that manifests everything in the universe. True self. Do you know your true self? Are you coming to know your true self? Critical. If you would be who you truly are, if you would be authentic, and if you would experience the manifestation into your life of all that you desire, what your heart's desires are, that prosperity that we're talking about in the biggest terms. So when we think of the true self, all of us sometimes put a false self out there. We play act a little bit, like maybe we play act to be Santa, or we play act a number of other roles in the world to be accepted by someone else, to get their approval, to get back some of what we want, approval. But that true self is not. So we sometimes are not truthful with ourselves. We look at ourselves and we say, oh, I don't deserve that. I've been terrible. And we don't see our true self. Because our true self is in line with that all good that I was talking about. The errors that we make or the missteps that we make are pointed in the end for the good that is ours to claim. The sooner we claim it, the better. Finally, when we look at truth and our true selves, I think a very common sense idea goes along with it, and it's that we're all growing up. Just like a child who is growing up and maybe is able to put behind some of the myths that they learn, we as spiritual beings are all growing up. Some of us faster, some of us slower. But we are in fact growing up. And that is the key to the prosperity that we talk about. To be able to look at that spiritual potential from the lens of our authentic true self. I love that. There's a beautiful scripture that says in 1 Corinthians, when I was a child, I spoke as a child, I thought as a child, I reasoned as a child, but when I became an adult, I put away childish things. So I'm going to take this opportunity to shut the Santa outfit. That's part of the myth, but that myth still is pointing me to the truth. The Buddha is reported to have said, when you point to the moon, you don't look at the finger or my thumb that has a Band-Aid on it. When you point to the moon, you're not looking at the finger, you're looking at the moon. The finger is just the pointer. And so these myths that we have and that we're looking at today, the myth of Santa, is a pointer to the truth of who we are, truth of our being. So the question, let me put this down. Kind of hot today too. I'm going to be Santa in July. Oh, and I'm being motioned from the back that I'm going to kind of straighten myself out here. Thank you, Kate. So why is it important that we discover our true selves, that we grow into our true selves, that we maybe forego putting on an act for somebody else or deluding ourselves? Well, it's important because we live from the inside, not the outside. The outside world, the appearance is one thing, But the true self comes from within. In unity, we talk about that being the Christ within. That perfection that we as divine expressions have access to. Matter of fact, that's the normal kind of thing. That is the true self that we go for. And we want to get to that place where we can live from the inside out. We also want to do this because we can forego some of the wishful thinking. You believe in magic? Well, sometimes you believe in magic when probably it isn't going to get you where you want to go. There's wishful thinking. Oh, if only. And the only kind of ends up with, if only somebody else would do something so that I would take care of. So I can get this outside solution over here that's going to take care of what I really want. And it also has to do with the idea of I'm going to work hard so that I'm going to be approved of. In my case, by my mother way back then. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to work very hard. I'll work my fingers to the bone to be approved of, to get that which I really desire. We, as an opportunity, have the opportunity when we think of living from the inside out, to put that aside, that idea of wishful thinking and working hard for somebody else's approval. The other thing that has to do with that inside out is that within us, knowing that the Christ is within us, we have an inheritance that goes with that Christ within. The divine expression that we are has all of the power, all of the gifts that are divine within us. Not out there someplace to aspire to, and after many years of study, you finally get that gift. But it is within each and every one of us, that Christ within, ready to be expressed in the world. So all of those powers that we talk about in unity, the power of wisdom, the power of love, the power of understanding, power of faith, and all of the many more, those divine powers that we kind of think are out there, or at least that's where I learned them. They're out there, they're up with God, up in heaven on the cloud. No, they're available, they're an inheritance for us, but we go wanting because we don't claim them. So when we begin to live from the inside out, the divine lives through us. We become that person that we want to be, that true self, and we experience all of the blessings that we thought were maybe just a magical illusion that we might have them. That's why we want to go and take this path, to take these myths to point to the true potential that we have. Now down to the question, how do you do that? Well, it takes a little rethinking to do that. It takes a bit of a different perspective, because we're into the pattern of our own thinking, and we just keep trying again and again, and we get, of course, the same result. But when we're able to change perspective, when we're able to see from a different point of view, when we're able to see with the divine eyes that are even within us, then things change. A couple of things. This one, very common sense. Grow up. Are you looking for that myth? Are you hoping for the magic to descend on you? Grow up. Grow up. Speaking the truth in love, we grow up. You know what it means. It means you just kind of have to let go of that old perspective. You have to release it so you can grow up in terms of your spiritual maturity. Buddhist thinking tells us that compassion and wisdom coupled create maturity, spiritual maturity. And I'm sure for you, there are certain ways that you can know that if you would exercise those things, you would be able to experience that spiritual maturity. So shut the Santa myth, shut the God myth that doesn't speak of the divine as within you, ready to express into the world. Put that off like I put off the Santa suit. Then believe in what the myth points to. The myth points to the divine being within. How do you believe something when you don't believe it to start with? Well, a belief is simply a thought that you've thought over and over and over again. If it resonates with you, if you're hearing me, if you can say, yes, this is what I want, make that thought predominant in your life. Write it on a sticky note and put it on your refrigerator or your mirror. Say it again and again as an affirmation. There's an interesting principle in Unity's 5 principles. Principle number 2. And one simple way of expressing it, as the book, The 5 Principles by Ellen Davenport says, is I am God. That seems kind of presumptuous, but it is not. Oneness that we are, connected with the divine, inseparable, means that that godness that we think of as outside of ourselves is within us. And I am that. We are. That's a perspective to change. I think the best way to change that is to experience it. You experience it in community. You experience it in silence. You experience it in prayer and contemplation. If you want to be spiritually mature, don't forget that spiritual practice, the practice of community, the practice of meditation, prayer, is indispensable. And then finally, be the prosperity that you desire. If you want health, if you want wealth, if you want tangible material stuff, if you want time, you need more time. Any of these, even relationships, be them. Let's go through that a little bit. How about relationships? I don't have enough friends, or I don't have that person that I want. There's a beautiful truth that says a person that has friends must show themselves friendly. So be that prosperity in terms of relationship. Be that in terms of tangible things. Oh, you say, but I'm afraid I'm not going to have enough. Well, the law of giving and receiving, one of those universal laws that I believe to be so true, says that as you give, so you receive. So be prosperity in that way. How about time? So I don't have enough time to do it. Well, how about dedicating some time? Being time, one, for spiritual practice, that's a great thing. How about just time to listen to somebody else? Be what you would have flourish in your life. So the myth of Santa, or the God myth, we've kind of lined them up together, point us, like the finger pointing at the moon, to the human and the spiritual potential that we have. It's an inside job. It comes from within and expresses outward in the world. It's our inheritance. It's been available to us. So I say, be the Santa you were waiting for. Be the Santa you were waiting for. I trust that this time has been something that gives you thought, makes you think, I want to change something in my life, and I have the choice to change. That's all I've got. I'll just say, and so it is.
Okay. It's time for our meditation song, and that's going to be Nearer Than Air by Michael Gott. Please prepare for meditation now.
Whoops, did not play. Let's go back here.
It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me. I am touched by amazing grace. And all I ever wanted, and all I ever needed, was already there. Closer than the sunlight, nearer than the air. I breathe in, and I am filled with the Spirit. And it is health to my body, it is peace to my mind, it is joy, it is joy to my soul. And I breathe out a simple prayer of thank you. And my breath becomes a song that was singing all along, that is singing everywhere. It is nearer than the air. I breathe in, and I am filled with the Spirit. Oh, it is health to my body, it is peace to my mind, it is joy, it is joy, it is joy, joy to my soul. And I breathe out my simple prayer, thank you. And my breath becomes a song that was singing all along, that is singing everywhere. It is nearer than the air. It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me. I am touched by amazing grace. And all I ever wanted, and all I ever needed, was already there, closer than the sunlight, nearer than the air.
Spend some time in quiet. Because we know that the spirit that is the essential part of us and the very nature of all that is closer than the sunlight, nearer than the air. Breathe in with me for just a minute. Breathe out. Being right here, right now, wherever you are. And in that stillness, we listen for the voice of spirit. As we listen, we hear in the distance the reminder, everything is good. We cock our head and listen to the other side, and we hear that you are divine. We take that in. And we listen further, and we hear you have a magnificent inheritance. All that you desire is cared for by that inheritance. And then we take those voices that seemingly were outside of us, and we start to hear them from within. We know that we're a spiritual being. We know that all is well. And we rest in the silence, knowing that all that our heart desires is available to us. For a change of perspective and some different choices. Take that thought into the silence for a few minutes. How does that relate to you, where you are today in your life, here? Breathe now again and bring your awareness back to this moment, this time, to this place. Grateful that you've been touched by spirit, as it were, because that's the very part. That is the very nature of it. You get to claim that and all of the good that accompanies it. So as your eyes have been closed, perhaps now you want to open them. Maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes, because you may have been in another place. We're grateful for this time of quiet. Pointed to our true self, truth of our being.
And so it is. Now is the time to share our gifts and offerings. Unity of Payson greatly appreciates your gifts in support of this ministry. These gifts not only support this spiritual community, but they also go out to the larger community. As you listen to the offering song, you'll have time to make a contribution. The offering bags will be passed in person in Payson. If you're attending virtually, the information for giving is on the slides. Please visit unityofpayson.org and click on the Donate Support tab. So let's bring our attention to our gift at this time. Let's call to mind our heart's desires. You might want to place your hands over your heart. And I move to say a little prayer. Mother, Father, God, Creative Spirit, Lord of our being, we are your children, and we are filled with love to overflowing, and the overflow blesses the world. Thank you for all of our blessings and all of our blessings to come. And we say, so it is, and so we let it be. And let's say our offering affirmation together. Freely we give, and freely we receive.
Oh, the sculptor Michelangelo was asked how he got in the flow and made the lovely David from a giant block of stone. He said, well, he was in there waiting. My job was simply excavating. I just took away what did not belong. And I know somewhere not so deep inside of me lives that perfect soul that I was meant to be. Let me be the way I was created. Let me find a pure and simple heart. I'll chip away all jealousy and hatred and reveal God's perfect work of art. Well, I think we're born on angels' wings. Heaven sends such graceful things, like love without condition, knowing we are not but the real me is crying to come out. Let me be the way I was created. Let me find a pure and simple heart. I'll chip away all jealousy and hatred and reveal God's perfect work of art. I'll reveal God's perfect work of art.
Beautiful song. Similar message to what Rev Neal gave us today. And now it's time for our dedication of the offering. We're grateful for these gifts. We're grateful for the givers. May these gifts circulate, returning tenfold. We bless these gifts as we say together, divine love through us blesses and multiplies all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. We are abundantly prosperous. We give thanks. And so it is. It's up to you if you wish to turn the camera at this time. Do so if you wish.
I think we'll go ahead and do that. For those of you who are with us virtually, you could get to see more than just me and what's on the front, what's on the screen here. So Ed is turning the camera. If you're out there, wave as the camera comes by you. And you're seen by people in Alabama, North Carolina, Texas, Colorado. And thank you very much. We are all. Thank you, Ed.
Okay, so next Sunday's speaker will be Reverend Neal Worthington. And the title of his talk next Sunday is The Endless Storehouse. We are continuing with our theme for July of prosperity. And the affirmation again is, I am the beneficiary of a generous universe. All I need is available for the asking. Sorry about that, Terry.
Okay.
I went down and then came back up.
Yeah, move this out.
All right. Upcoming events. I'll share a few announcements with you. Please check the website at unityofpayson.org or the Monday e-newsletter for all the details. If you're new, please leave your email contact info with us so we can send this email newsletter to you. All meetings are on Zoom unless otherwise noted. Love offerings are appreciated. Our regular weekly events are Morning Cafe, Monday through Saturday, 9:30 to 10 a.m. Qigong and Tai Chi classes with Teresa are happening on Sundays and Wednesdays at 4:30 on Zoom, although she is on vacation through the 13th. Cards and games at Kay's every Thursday at 1 p.m. And we have a writers group. For those who love to write, that's the only requirement for membership, that you love to write. Thursdays, July 14th and 28th. And that's from 4 to 5 p.m. on Zoom. The gathering for today is canceled, and we have Sunset on the Rim with Tom on Friday, July 15th at 6 p.m. Please call him for more info. The number is 317-441-8885. 8710. I'll put it in the chat. And I'll do that while we're having a PS from Neil.
Oops, I almost-
What more is there to say? A lot's happening in these places. Invite you to enjoy any of the activities that are calling to you. Come join us for those. It's about time for us to close our service. If you're here with us in person, I just want to note that one of our birthday people of the month has brought birthday celebration cupcakes, I believe. Is that right? Cupcakes. Thank you, Mona. So we will, after we finish with the prayer for protection here in person, we will sing happy birthday as well. Why not? But let's now go to the peace song. So we can stand and just grab a hand. You don't necessarily have to make a big circle, but just grab a hand with somebody that you can.
Sorry.
And yeah, we'll kind of all be together.
Whoops. Sorry.
It started too quick. We're gonna
Too
start
fast.
again.
Let's try it again. Okay. We ready? All right.
And the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us.
God told us, I am love. The power that protects us. I am power. And the presence of God.
Yeah, let's clap it. And thank you, those of you who are with us for the first time. We're just delighted to be here. Stay for cupcakes and kibitz and talk with us a little bit. But there are four, let me see if I can remember, four birthdays. June, Mona, Terry, and Rick. Is
And
that right?
Rick.
Or did I-
That we know of, yeah.
That we know
Rick.
of. Maybe anybody else that has a birthday in the July that's here
The
or
one.
there? Wave your hand. Okay, anyway, we're gonna go ahead and sing happy birthday. And I'm gonna start it out. So if it's too high or too low, believe me. Here we go. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. There's no one like you. Uniquely created.
He doesn't have the words.
Look at the monitor.
It worked. Happy
Good enough.
birthday, Mona and Sherry are here. Let's celebrate them, and we'll see you all at the next opportunity, whatever it is, when you can join us. Thank you for being here.
I need to stop the recording too.